Hello, I am monk Heyu Taemyung, head monk of Yonghua Temple in Suri Mountain, Anyang. As a disciple of Sakyamuni Buddha, I wish to share with you why I came to proclaim that Maitreya Buddha has come to the Saba world, and why I began to spread the Dharma of Maitreya. I entered the Taego sect of Korean Buddhism and was practicing with my life on the line when I suddenly fell ill and became physically disabled, with death looming before me. At that time, I thought, I became a monk and have been earnestly practicing according to the Buddha's law. But though I am still young, I've become ill, disabled, and can only wait to die. There must be something wrong in the way I've been practicing. I wondered what that could be, and I clung only to Sakyamuni Buddha, weeping every day and begging him to teach me. However, the monks who had shared meals with me for 10 years, once I became too sick to work, told me not to eat the Buddha's offering rice for free and to leave the temple and return to secular life at once. At that time, the ill monks could not bear the abuse and all left the temple. But I did not disrobe. I remained in my room, lying down, face to the floor, and for 10 years, I practiced severe asceticism. I staked the remainder of my brief life solely on my practice. I practiced only according to the Buddha's law, yet now in my youth I am sick, with death before me, and the monks are telling me to leave immediately and return to secular life. Sakyamuni Buddha, why are you abandoning me? I cried out. When I was healthy, they made me work all day in the temple. But now that I am sick and can no longer work, why are you abandoning me? Why do you not take responsibility for your disciple? I wept in anguish. Because the monks constantly told me to leave the temple. I couldn't go out to eat even when it was time. So after 9 p.m., when everyone was asleep, I would sneak to the kitchen, fill a steel bowl with cold rice and some kimchi, and secretly bring it back to my room. I ate half at night and left the rest outside the window to eat in the morning. But in summer, that rice would spoil by morning. Couldn't die while still alive, so I clung only to Buddha, eating that spoiled rice that not even a dog would eat, and continued my practice. In winter, the rice left outside would freeze solid. As I bit into the frozen rice, the grains would roll around in my mouth, and I had no hot water in my room. If I went outside, they would yell at me to leave immediately, so I just sat there, chewing the frozen rice inside the room. As the frozen grains rolled in my mouth, I chewed and swallowed them while crying in anguish. I practiced diligently according to the Buddha's law. Am I to die at this young age? Surely something must be wrong in the way I have practiced. Every day, with tears of lamentation, I lay down and cried out to Buddha. Buddha, please heal my body. If I recover, I will surely repay your grace. I will spread this precious Dharma widely in the world. And I offered one more petition to Buddha. I envy most those monks who, during your lifetime, met you, followed you, and learned the Dharma directly from you. Though Sakyamuni Buddha passed away 2,600 years ago and is not with us now, please return to the Saba world in physical form and find me. Please teach me directly with your voice what you realized in your lifetime. These days, because so much time has passed since Buddha's departure, his teachings have spread and been altered so widely that I cannot tell which are truly from the Buddha's own realization. Sakyamuni Buddha, please return in physical form to the Saba world. Find me, your disciple, and preach to me the Dharma that you realized. Then, surprisingly, Sakyamuni Buddha called my name, saying, "You," and said, "If you wait just 11 months more, Maitreya Buddha will come to get Monk Heyu." Sakyamuni Buddha heard the sound of my wailing and guided me to the Maitreya Buddha who came to the Saba world. Having met Maitreya Buddha through the guidance of Sakyamuni Buddha like that, I went to Maitreya Buddha and said, "My younger brother Monk and I have suddenly fallen ill at the same time and are both dying now, but no matter how much I think, I do not know the reason." Maitreya Buddha said to me, "If you and your younger brother Monk receive the ancestor Chando ceremony from me just once, you will recover completely and become healthy." So, hearing Maitreya Buddha's words, I was surprised and said, "At the temple where I became a priest, I performed Chando ceremonies once or twice every year for over 10 years under a great monk, an enlightened master known as a very famous Buddha in our country. And as if that wasn't enough, I spent a large sum of money to build a memorial pagoda. But you're saying our ancestors' Chando wasn't done?" When I asked this, he said, "That's right, not one Chando was done. Monk, you have done useless things all this time." I was so surprised and received a great shock. Then, he said that because Sakyamuni Buddha did not perform Chando ceremonies during his lifetime, Chando cannot be done no matter how much you call Buddha during a Chando ceremony. He said that Chando can only be performed by an enlightened Buddha. So that's why even though I, a monk, performed Chando ceremonies every year at the temple, Chando was not successful. I realized this only after 17 years of being a priest, when death was before my eyes. So I asked Maitreya Buddha for the Chando of my parents and ancestors. Maitreya Buddha performed the Chando ceremony, and I could know right there on the spot that my ancestors' Chando was done. The Chando ceremony performed by Maitreya Buddha was different. This is the real Chando ceremony, and this person is the real Buddha. I knew this on the spot. My younger brother Monk and I recovered completely after that and are learning the enlightenment healthily. I realized that no matter how great a monk is, he absolutely cannot perform Chando for a soul. I realized that Chando for a dead person can only be performed by Yongkwa Maitreya Buddha, the truly enlightened Buddha in the Saba world, who emits the light with the Buddha's enlightened light coming from his body. Because Sakyamuni Buddha did not perform Chando ceremonies during his lifetime, Chando is not achieved even if you call him after he passed away. Since Sakyamuni Buddha guided me, who was dying and wailing, to Maitreya Buddha, and gave the prophecy to inform people that the real Buddha has come to the Saba world, now, according to the will of Sakyamuni Buddha, Taemyong Heyu, a monk of the Jogye order of Korean Buddhism, is informing the world that Maitreya Buddha has come. Any Buddhist watching this video, please know that Yongkwa Maitreya Buddha coming to the Saba world to save living beings is precisely the will of Sakyamuni Buddha. Now, I intend to speak about how I became a priest, how I met Maitreya Buddha and came to spread Maitreya Buddhism, what was wrong with my learning the enlightenment during that time, and about the enlightenment gained through Sakyamuni Buddha's guidance without backsliding when death was before my eyes. Now, as I talk about the process during my past learning the enlightenment, how I was deceived by my supervisor, offered up money for over 10 years, saying it was for my precious parents' Chando ceremony, suffered until my bone marrow was exhausted, and returned alive from death. That memory comes to mind, and my heart aches so much it feels like it's being torn. Having dedicated all my youth to become a priest, trying to attain Buddhahood once like Buddha and save living beings once, when I think about being deceived by my supervisor monk, my heart feels torn and tears come. Even a monk who became a priest suffers such a plight. So how much more so for Buddhists? I am saying this because Buddhists are so pitiful. When you think that the monks you trusted couldn't even perform Chando, yet received the Chando fee and deceived you, how heartbreaking an affair is that? Do you know how heartbreaking it is to be deceived by someone you trusted? Sakyamuni Buddha witnessed all of this. I never married and offered up all of my youth by becoming a monk. If I was deceived by my own supervisor, how painful that is. Now, I intend to dedicate the remainder of my life to my final return. Until the day this life ends, I will uphold the will of Sakyamuni Buddha and transform the Dharma he spread into an enlightened Buddhism that will never disappear for 1,000, 10,000 years. Under the guidance of Sakyamuni Buddha, I met Maitreya Buddha, received the enlightened Dharma, and began to spread it. When I stood before death, I wrote these words on Hanji and posted them where I could see them every day, over and over. These are the cherished words of my teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha, spoken to the Venerable Ananda. This is a piece I wrote on June 18, 2009, when I first became ill and immersed myself in learning the Enlightenment. It has faded and become worn with age, but I still cherish it dearly. Ananda asked the Buddha, "Lord Buddha, being with a good friend, a good companion, makes up half of the journey in teachings." The Buddha replied, "Ananda, do not say that. Being with good friends and good companions leads to the very end of the journey within the monastic community. An enlightenment learner who associates with good companions can cultivate the noble eightfold path with ease. Because they draw near to me, the Tathagata, the good companion, innumerable living being disciples are freed from aging, illness, death, worries, anxiety, and the sorrowful suffering of lamentation." I believed these words of Sakyamuni Buddha, and even when death was near, I did not back down, but relied solely on the Buddha. And so, I have finally found the path of immortality, freedom from aging, illness, death, worries, anxiety, and the sorrowful suffering of lamentation. The path was found within the complete Gongphot of Yongkwa Maitreya Buddha. This was possible only because I stayed close to the great teacher, Sakyamuni Buddha. And so I offer gratitude and praise to Sakyamuni Buddha, and I now declare that the true Buddha of the Saba world, Yongkwa Maitreya Buddha, has come.